What is happening? What is going on, everybody? We are live. We appreciate you guys for tapping in with us, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on, it doesn't matter whichever platform you're on, we appreciate it. I got one of my closest people. I've been doing this for a little while, and I've gotten real close to Champ. Jesse James Leha. We got a legend joining us today. Champ, how you been, man?
Man, I'm doing well, man. Just got back from the gym. Busy day today, and just came home and get ready to rest and start a new day tomorrow.
Sounds good, Champ. Sounds good. So I think the last time we talked to you, you and the family were preparing for the red carpet brawl.
Yes.
So how did that turn out? How did the red carpet brawl end up turning out for you guys?
It turned out great. So this is our second year. We started last year. This was our second year, and what we do is we have businessmen, businesswomen. We train them for 3 months, 5 months, whatever it is, uh, and train them to get ready for a fight, like amateur boxing. They actually have to register, and become amateur boxers to fight. But some of them, the 40s, 50s, 60s. And of all ages, and they're accordingly to fight each other by no more than 10 years apart and no more than 10 pounds apart. And we train them just like an amateur boxer, and they fight at our red carpet gala, and we sell tables for $3,500 each for each table, and we sold 52 tables this year. We sold out last year. We sold out this year, and it's just a great event. And our charity is for mental health, so we help organizations and people here in town that are trying to help with mental health. We help support them financially, get their word out for them, and just things like that. We're trying to fight this mental health as well.
That's awesome. And I know me and you, we've had plenty of conversations, when it comes to mental health and how important it is. So, I think I've told you this before, but I think it's awesome that you guys are touching on something because, as you and I have both talked about previously, it wasn't, something that was stressed as much, mental health. It was something that, maybe was mentioned, but it wasn't really hammered home like it should be.
Yeah.
So it's good that you and the family are highlighting that. Now, you said
So
this is something that you guys are going to be doing every year, right? You
every
said you
year,
guys
yeah,
sold out.
we're doing this every year. So, we raise close to $300,000 uh, on this one, and so 100% of that is going to go to charities here in town or uh, different foundations that are helping with mental health. But like you said just a while ago, it's frowned upon. People don't talk about it, especially Hispanic men and women or families. They always say, "Shh, don't say anything. What the neighbor's gonna say or what you cut." But we want to bring it out to the forefront and say that we all have something. We all have someone in our family. We all have someone that's fighting this fight. We all have different fights, and we have to put it out there in front and say it's okay to get help. It's okay. If I had diabetes or if I had cancer, I want to make sure I get help. And mental health is the same thing. It's something that we have that we didn't ask for, but we have it, and we need to get some help for it and not sweep it under the carpet, under the rug. We need to put it out in the forefront and talk about that. It's okay. We're okay.
Absolutely. So, as far as the red carpet brawl, so if someone can't, actually attend the event, is there some way that they can support you or support the event
Oh
in
yeah,
some kind of way?
they would go to our website, which is the Red Carpet Brawl website, or they can also go to Leha Boxing and Fitness website as well. But the Red Carpet Brawl is our website where we hold our foundation. Um, you get all the information you need on that.
Sounds good.
So
Sounds good.
the Red Carpet Brawl or Leha Boxing and Fitness.
Wonderful. Sounds good. So this past weekend, did you get a chance to check out any of the fights? Because there was about, I want to say it was three different cards. There was the top rank card on Friday,
Hmm.
and then there were two cards on Saturday, the Barbosa and Catterall card, and then Duarte and Madueño were in the afternoon. Did you get a chance to check
No,
any of the?
I saw it, and I've been busy. But I saw the one that there was another fight card. Was it what's his name? Oh, I can't think of his name right now. Was it
Was Catterall and Barbosa?
was no? It wasn't that one.
Was it the Keyshawn Davis and
Yes,
Barantek?
Keyshawn Davis. That was a great fight for Keyshawn. He looks so good. He looks poised for a young fighter like that. And I don't want to say he had a beast in front of him, but he had a good durable fighter in front of him, and that he took care of pretty quickly.
Shout out to Norfolk, man. That's
That's right.
hometown, so it's it's good for us,
Bruno
man.
Whitaker's
Because
home. Yeah.
yeah, because I mean, I mean, you've been to Norfolk, and it's been a while since Sweet Pea, was able to grace this area with a champion. So it's good to have Keyshawn and his brothers, doing what they're doing.
And you don't hear a lot of fighters coming out of Norfolk, right? I mean, you hear Parnell, but I couldn't tell you who else has come out of there.
It's been a while. I mean, if we're talking about high level, is
Hmm.
from a world champion standpoint, the last one was Purnell. I mean, we have some guys that have come through that have been
Hmm.
pretty good, like Doran Spivey and people like that
Oh
have
yeah,
been,
yeah. Uh-huh.
that have been pretty good. But when you're talking about, world level as far as champion and talking about maybe potential to face a boxing and pound for pound list, Purnell was the last one that we had. So it's
Cardell was such a great guy. I had so much fun hanging out with him. I don't know if I told you this, but I may have told you, but maybe some listeners out there haven't, or some viewers out there haven't, don't know the stories that when Purnell was training with Ronnie Shields and I was training with Ronnie Shields as well, we would go out to the football field and run or do our sprints. But our sprints was pass patterns. So Purnell would be on offense, and I had to take him. I would defend him, and we would, go out for passes, and we would always interchange. He's a receiver, I'm the defender, or whatever, And it was so much fun running sprints that way with Purnell. We had a great time running out there, and I want to say that I beat him in the passing game. I
right
scored
on.
more. I scored more touchdowns.
I actually went to high school with his son. His son played on the high school football team,
Uh-huh.
and he would be at some of the games.
Oh, cool.
And one of the most humble people that you'll ever meet. So
You would never know by just seeing him, right?
yeah,
He's that good of, yeah, just never. Yeah.
for sure, for
Good,
sure.
good guy. He would be funny because we would be at this sports bar where we would eat almost every day for lunch, and one of my best friends was the manager there. And so we would always eat at bars, and people would come up to Purnell while he's eating, or just whatever, and they would say, "Purnell, will you sign his autograph?" And he goes, "No." he just said, "No, I'm eating.
Yeah,
No, don't leave him alone." But then later on, they come up, he'll call him back. Come on, give me. But
for
while
sure.
he's eating, he just or whatever, he just ate
Mhm.
in front of everybody. I said, "Purnell, you can't do that." He goes, "Why not?" I said, "Because they're my people. I said, they're my people. You can't do that to my people." And he goes, "All right, okay." So he started signing autographs, but he was just a good guy.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I agree with you on that, man. So as far as the Keyshawn, I mean, we know Keyshawn. He made a statement. Did you get a chance to check out any of the other fights? Because Abdullah Mason was on the card, and before the main event was Xander Zayas.
Yes, I missed that one. I missed that
Okay.
one. Yeah, sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good, man. The whole card was good, man. It was just a good night of boxing. But what we really came here for, and I talked to you a little bit about it in the chat. We got us. I don't know how many good fights on the same card
Uh-huh.
this weekend. Um, but one thing I want to talk to you about, because I didn't even talk to you about this. Remember we were talking about Floyd Schofield versus Shakur Stevenson.
We're at the gym just what an hour ago. I'm at the gym, and all my trainers are there, and I pull out your post that says the fight had been canceled because I said I'll guarantee you that's his dad pulled out, or I should convince him to pull out. Something happened. Come on, he's not sick. Boxers don't get sick like that. We're too
Exactly.
healthy to get sick. Come on, we're training every single day. We have the strongest immune system there is right now. There's no way in the world we're gonna get sick. Anyhow, if I had to bet any money, it's his dad put him out or Oscar put him out. I
You know,
guess. Yeah.
when I saw the news happen, I said I'm not even going to talk to Champ about it yet. I'm gonna wait to talk to him about it on the live because
Yes.
as a boxer that's fought the best like yourself, I wanted to know like what you thought about that. I mean, you told me, but it's like they've been trying so hard to get this fight, and they say how this is the opportunity, that they've been wanting, and I have a hard time believing, like you said, that this just happened and we're what Tuesday, and
Yeah.
you're pulling out a fight. Fight's still Saturday, so I mean, like you might have something that you can maybe get over. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Did he miss? I think I heard one of my trainers had said that he missed his weigh-in. You know how they have a by whoever has a weigh-in, and he missed his weekly weigh-in,
Hmm.
whatever it was. But I know his dad, and I'm not. He's not a bad guy, but he's just one of these different. He's a different guy. Uh, the Floyd is a great kid. I like him. He's a great kid. Good fighter, strong, hits hard. I was doing mitts with him for a while. I was training these guys for a month or so. But it just knowing his dad and see what his dad does, I have a feeling that his dad pulled him out, or Oscar said, "Hey, this is a tough fight for us to win. We better pull out." I just whatever it is. That's how I feel. And if I had to bet money, I would bet money on it.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, man. Because when all this happened, I was trying to find. I'm like, this just doesn't sound right. This doesn't sound right. And Floyd Senior was doing, he's been doing a lot of talking up to this point, saying this
The
happened to
kid,
Floyd.
the kid, I'm telling you, the kid doesn't hardly ever say anything. The kid's so quiet and so humble. The kid doesn't say it. It's his dad talking for him all the time. His
Hmm.
dad does all the talking. The kid doesn't talk. Kid's a
Yeah.
good kid.
So I
Yeah.
mean, I ask myself sometimes, is his father going to be a hindrance? Some kind of hindrance as far as his career. I mean, I don't want to think like that, but when you start looking the way things are starting to play itself out, champ, could you see a situation where the dad might, maybe overstep some of his boundaries, and maybe he needs to take a step back?
I'm telling you, man, the kid is a good kid. He's a good kid, and I just feel bad for him. I feel
Yeah.
bad for him. I feel bad that he's not running the show. He's the fighter. I would always tell the guys, you're the boss. I would tell the fighters, you're the boss. You're the fighter. You don't
Mhm.
only get to go in there. You boss the manager. You boss the manager's running your career, but you're the boss. You say yes or no to whatever fight. You don't have to say yes because the manager say yes. Say
Mhm.
you're the boss. You're the one paying everyone. You're paying everyone, so that makes you the boss. But you get advice from the manager. But you don't have to do anything what they say. But I just I have I almost could bet on it that it's the father's running the show.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, man.
And
Because
I don't think even Ronnie doesn't train the kid anymore. I don't think Ronnie's training him anymore, from what I know.
I think you might be right. I think his dad may have
Yeah,
taken over on a full
training
time.
duties. Yeah.
Yeah,
If
so
anything, Ronnie would just coming in for the fight.
yeah, man. I certainly, if he's really sick, I hope he gets well. It's just from the outside looking at, because I mean, I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. Just from the outside looking in, it just doesn't look good. But I just hope everything goes well with him and he's able to bounce back on, whatever's going on.
The kid's a really good kid. I like the kid. Very humble, very quiet, funny, and he's just a good kid. And the father's not a bad guy either, but he's just one of those fathers. He's one of
Mm.
those fathers.
There's a couple of them in boxing, unfortunately. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But champ, we got to talk about the main event. Shout out to my boy Ali tapping in on YouTube. But we definitely got to talk about this main event. We got Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. They're gonna run it back, for the second time. And that first fight it was back and forth.
Controversial. It was controversial too, right? The first
Hmm.
fight.
Hmm. Yep.
Uh, and I saw bits and pieces of that first fight, and for what I saw, I thought Beaver won the fight from what I saw, and but it was close enough. But um, that's why they're doing it again, right? That's what they're
Hmm.
doing again to make sure that uh, to see who's going to come out the true winner. Well, not always, right? Because I mean, a lot of guys, a lot of our friends thought that Beaver won the fight,
Hmm.
and that didn't happen. So. Um, let's see if he can come back and fight stronger or change some strategy or whatever and figure out. to come out and win the fight clearly.
For sure. And speaking of strategy, I wanted to talk to you about that too, because you fought Zuma Nelson multiple times. So when you go into fighting another world class fighter multiple times, is it like a psychological battle? Because it's like, okay, this was the outcome in one fight. Do I need to make some changes, or even if you win, do you still go in with the game plan, like from a win and losing standpoint? Do you
Yeah,
go in with the same game plan, or do you say I need to do something different because they might be looking for what I did last fight in the next fight, so I need to change something up?
and you have so much tape to study. You have so much tape to study either way, right? Both ways, because I fought when I first fought Zumanosin, I we went 12 rounds, and I thought I was winning the fight clearly, and I made a rookie mistake, and I tried coasting the last 3 rounds, like let's not get caught, let's not do something dumb, and so kind of coast the fight, and the fight turned out to be a draw. And I'm like, wow. But I felt I won the fight. He never hurt me. He never did it. But he landed some good punches, especially at the end when the 3 rounds I was trying to coast, he was landing punches, and I could see, yeah, I could see it. I could see it a draw. And so for the second fight, and remember, Zuma Nelson knocks everybody out in the second fight. All his rematches, he would knock guys out. He would win convincingly. He would just convince everybody. He'd knock everybody out. And um, but all I did was I said, I'm going to do the same thing I did in the first fight, but not take off my foot off the gas pedal. And sure enough, I clearly won the second fight. Third fight comes out. And remember, always have tape. You always got to figure out, man, what am I going to do different with this fight? He's gonna, he's the professor. He knows how to break down everybody. He knows how to. So that's the hardest part was not only fighting him the second time, but fighting him the third time because now he has a better chance of knowing how you're going to fight, what you're going to do, because he's so smart. He's a smart fighter, and we just tweak things a little bit here and there, but everything worked for me, so I didn't want to change too much because
Right.
I was really being successful against him. In the third fight, what did he do? He stopped me in the third fight. He caught me with the uppercut early in the first round. I never recovered. I was out on my feet for the next 5 rounds, and they stopped it in the sixth round. They stopped it because of a cut, but I was out on my feet from round one. Um, and so we were 1-1-1 the first three fights, and the fourth fight was the tiebreaker, and I beat him unanimously 12 rounds.
Having four fights against one person is just crazy, but against another fighter the caliber of Zuma
Hall of
Nelson, and
Famer.
for the people,
Hall of
yeah,
Famer. Yeah.
for the people that don't know, because Zuma Nelson might be just a little bit before many of our viewers' times as far as when he was in his prime. Not to say that you old, champ. I'm just
I'm
saying.
old. You didn't
Just
say
saying.
it, but you said
But
it.
Azuma was the man for a long time, and then for you to fight him four times, to give people a different kind of context on how hard that is. I want people to look at Manny Pacquiao versus Juan Manuel Marquez, and you look at the different outcomes that happened in that fight. One was a knockout
Yep.
in favor of Marquez. So that tells you how hard it is to fight another world class athlete multiple times, because at and correct me if I'm wrong, champ, at a certain point it becomes a mental game, right? It becomes a mental game. It's like, okay, this happened last time, so now I'm gonna maybe insert this, and then maybe throughout the course of the fight and each fight you making those changes. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And but
Yeah.
like you said though, you don't want to steer away from what got you,
Yeah.
what worked for you too. So it could
But
be
you
a
got to
lot.
change it up. You got to change something up because it's we're playing chess out there. He's gonna figure out my moves. He already figured out my moves. He already knows my tendencies. You're here and you drop a hand to the right hand. They see everything. They is broken down. I had when we did our fights. I had one of our assistant trainers, Leo Zuniga. He would study fights and write all these notes down to me. I would have 30, 40, 50 notes to say what the fighter's doing during the time. So I wouldn't have always have to look at a fight. I just could study my notes and see what he did. And say,
Mm.
okay, he drops his right hand after he throws his hook or whatever, right? Or he lifts his head up while throwing an uppercut, just little things like that. And we study it. We study the sheet because you want to get it in your head what he's doing as you certain punch. Or if I'm throwing the right hand, I better keep that left hand up because I know he's going to counter. Little things like that, but they all count. And sure enough, when I was in throwing uppercut in the first round with a zoom, and I felt great. I felt great for that fight. As I was throwing an uppercut, I lifted my head up, and he was throwing the overhand right at the same time. And he hit me in the first round. I was out in my feet for the next 5 rounds, and I was almost coming back, but I was cut. They stopped it because of a cut, but I was out in my feet anyway.
It's crazy how the margin of error is
Hmm.
so minute. Like I've sparred with someone and just stepping the wrong way, just having my foot the wrong way, I
Yep.
got cracked in the ribs. And champ, that's some of the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. Because I mean, it's not something that I do every day. If it was something that I did every day, obviously
Body
I
gets
would be
used to
able
it.
to. But yeah, man, that hit me in the right spot too. Hit me right in the liver, brought me down to my knee. I had to take a break
Was
for
that your was that your wife who hit you?
oh, we got jokes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I gotta fire back at you before the live is over. I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna catch
Okay,
you.
all right.
But so the main event, obviously, that's gonna be a good one. And the co-main event, they are I think it's supposed to be Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker. Yeah, them rib and kidney shots, they're no joke. They're no joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, the main event, well, excuse me, the co-main is supposed to be Joseph Parker, like we said,
Yeah.
and Daniel Dubois
Yeah.
for the IBF title. Of course, Dubois is the champion, and this could have some, title implications when we talk about who might fight Usyk for undisputed. So, champ, how's that Dubois and that Dubois fight looking for you?
I think it's a close fight. I just think Dubois has too much experience already, and when you have those big fights and you successful in big fights, you have an advantage over the guy coming in, um, who's challenging because you're the champion already. You have that mental edge. That mental edge is a big help. Just knowing you're a world champion, knowing you fought the better fighters. Um, that big, like we talked earlier, it's all mental, right? And when you have that thing, hey man, I'm the champ. There's just that. Just saying that does a lot to you. Does a lot for your psyche to say, man, I'm gonna win this fight. I'm the champ. I can't be beat. Just winning a title, you go up 4 or 5 notches and knowing you're gonna win the fight. And that's a lot of, and most of it. That's mostly because a lot of guys will go into the fight saying, "Man, I don't know if I can win this. I don't know if I can win this." But when you win a world title, you say, "Man, I'm gonna win this fight." And that's a big advantage.
Because I mean, I would imagine it's like a justification. I guess you can say it kind of. I mean, you obviously know you belong, but is it one of those things? It's kind of like a reminder. It's like I worked hard for this, but it's like also a reminder that I'm the best and I belong. Like I
Yes, I
should be here.
belong.
There's no debating that now.
Yeah, there was, and you're right. When I was fighting, I fought Louis Espinosa in 1992. 19, man, I'm dating myself, right?
See,
1992.
I didn't do that. You did that.
Yeah, I'm going back again. 1992. I fought Louis Espinosa. I had 26 fights, maybe 25 fights, one of those. And Louis Espinosa was 44-4, 38 knockouts.
Oof, oof.
That was a beast. I only had 25 fights. He had 38 knockouts and 44 fights. This guy was a beast, and I fought him on. I forgot what. I don't think it was NBC. It was a sports channel, or it was one of those stations, or maybe even. Either way, I fought him, and it was a great fight. I had when it was all over said and done, I had five cuts over my eyes, lip, and everywhere else, and it was just a great fight. But when that fight was over, and I said, "Okay, I belong." I knew I belong in
Yeah,
the sport of boxing, and I didn't know I would be. I didn't know what I would do, but I knew I belonged and I could fight the best fighters out there.
good stuff. Good stuff. Now, I know we were. This actually just popped into my head. I know we were talking about the quality of fights that's going to happen on this card, and
Hmm.
I think this might be the best card that we've seen since, if I'm not mistaken, you were on a card with a whole bunch of rematches, right? Wasn't there
Oh
about
yeah, yeah.
four
That
or
was
five rematches that was on HBO, if I'm not mistaken?
what the actual card. The rematches was Azuma Nelson and I. Chavez fought. Gee, what did Chavez fight?
It wasn't Frankie Randall, was it?
Was Frankie Randall.
Okay,
I
okay.
believe, yeah, and I believe so. Man, I had fought, but I think the rematches was one of the best fight cards ever. I think who else was on it?
There was two other big ones. If it was De La Hoya on that card too.
No, no, no.
Okay, okay. But I remember there were two other big big
Man,
fights on that card.
Simon Brown.
Yes. Okay. Yep.
Did he fight Joe McClellan? Is that the fight? Was it Joe McClellan? I
I
have the.
want to I want to say Gerald was on that card though. I don't know
Yeah,
if it was against Simon Brown, but I want to say Gerald was on that card.
yeah. It's a great fight. I think the rematch is one of the best fight cards
Yeah,
ever.
for sure, for sure. It just popped in my head because I'm like, because I saw the flyer not too long ago, and I remember seeing your face with Azuma, and then there was a number of them. So I'm like, this card
Even,
that we got
even
coming up is gotta be
Ricardo, what's his name? Ricardo from Mexico. What was his name?
Lopez.
Ricardo Lopez was on the card as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for
and that was
sure.
the thing. Ricardo Lopez probably even fought when we fought here. Zumanos when Chavez and Pernell Whitaker fought here. I think Ricardo Lopez was on that card as well. I
Okay.
think he was on the rematches as well. I mean that Don King was just putting on those fights like crazy, and I think to this day the rematches is probably one of the best fight cards ever put on.
I absolutely agree. Absolutely.
We've
You know what I
had
mean?
5 world title fights.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was like everybody was in their prime. You know what I mean? And that's what made it good too. It was like you have, and just like we're getting, this weekend, it's like we're getting all great fights, and they're pretty much all in their prime, and they're all doing great right now, even if they might be a little older, like Zhilei Zhang, who's in his 40s,
Mm-hmm.
but he's been winning.
Man, in his 40s, man, that's incredible.
Yeah,
That's
but
incredible.
he fights Ajit Kabayel on the card this weekend, and that is going to put him, or the winner, in a position where they could challenge. I think Dubois. Well, the winner of Dubois and Parker, I think, is probably going to fight Usyk.
Okay, who's favorite in that? Is it Dubois, right? Dubois favorite?
I think Dubois is the favorite. Yep,
Yeah, yeah.
just because he's been battle tested. Like you said yourself, because um, he's already fought Usyk. He fought Joshua.
Well, that's right. I saw that fight with Usyk. Wow, what a
Mhm.
great fight.
It was a great fight too. Knocked out Anthony Joshua.
Hmm.
Uh, and he's been knocked out. No, he's been stopped before. You know
What,
what I
what
mean?
what does he fight at? What's his weight at? What,
Heavyweight.
I know, but what's his weight at? Where's he at? He's a 260 pounder, 270 pounder. He's a big boy, right?
He's a he. I want to put him at in between maybe 235 and 250 ish.
Okay,
I know
okay,
it's a big. I know that's a big window, but I
yeah,
I, I want to say it's around there.
yeah. Because I
Um,
mean, heavyweights nowadays are just the 50s and 60s still, right? Like the better guys.
for sure, for sure.
What does
So,
Usyk? What does Usyk weigh when he fights? He's in the 40s, maybe.
uh, oh, I don't think usually he may have gotten really heavy for the Fury fight.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I remember. Yeah,
But I think when he fought, like,
and Fury got light for the fight, right? Didn't he get lighter for the fight?
I think
Time he fought?
he I think he was heavy for the second one. He may have been light for the first one and heavy for the second one because I think he wanted to use his size maybe.
Hmm. I
Uh, to,
I thought him being heavy. I think I may be wrong, but I thought the first one he was heavy, and the second one he came in lighter because the first time I think he just got tired because Usyk moves around a lot, moves a lot, and
Mhm.
you got to keep up with that movement. You're gonna tire yourself out if you're heavy. So I
Yeah.
thought he lost weight for the second one. I could be wrong.
No, I mean it was. We know one of the fights he came in big, and one of the fights he came in small. So he tried to change the game plan. It's just a matter of was it small to big or was it big to small. But
Yeah, yeah,
it didn't matter because Usyk ended up winning both fights anyways.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think once he fights the winner of Parker and Dubois, that might
Mhm.
be it. That might be it for Usyk.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
He's made his money, right?
he has. But so if we stay on the same card, obviously we're not going to get Stevenson versus Schofield, which kind of bums me out because I was looking forward to that one.
that, that was the fight I wanted to see.
I know, but we got another one that I really want to see is Virgil Ortiz
Hmm.
versus Israel Madrimov. Um,
I don't think I've seen Majima fight.
the last time we saw Madrimov, he fought Terrence Crawford. Terrence
Okay.
Crawford's first fight at 154 pounds.
Okay.
Crawford fought, and that was a tough fight for Crawford
Yeah.
too.
It was a very tough fight for him. Majima was that. Now I remember that fight. He had his hands full.
And I think that gave a lot of stock to Madrimov.
Mm-hmm.
He won even with a loss because Terrence Crawford is regarded as one of the best in the world, and considering some people even think that Madrimov won that fight.
Yeah,
So it's like now you put him in there with Virgil Ortiz, who's all action.
that's gonna be a
I,
great fight. That's a
I
good fight.
I think that might be
I
champ.
think,
I think that might be fight
think
of the
so
night.
too. I think so too. It just sounds like a great fight.
Yep. So I'm ready for that one. And there is Hamza Shiraz. I don't know if you've seen him fight. He's good. He's good. The last he had a fight with Ammo Williams when they did that 5v5
Mhm.
Queensberry versus Matchroom.
Oh
Eddie
yeah.
Hearn had his five, and then Frank Warren had his five.
Cool.
Yeah, Eddie Hearn picked Ammo Williams, and Frank Warren picked Hamza Shiraz, and Hamza Shiraz just dominated the fight. And now he's in a position to, if he beats Adamas, he's going to be the WBC middleweight champion, and that might line him up for potential unification with Janabek.
Wow, a great fight.
So this is like it seems like champ a number of these fights that if a certain fighter wins, there's something next for him, right?
Yeah, and that it should always be that way, right? There should always be a second guy waiting to fight for the world title or for the next fight after you win the title. That they used to be that way all the time. Whenever you won a world title, you were gonna defend against the number one guy. Well, maybe you had a chance to defend within the top 10, but then you eventually had to fight the number one guy within 6 or 7 months or some of that. Back then, it should be that way.
Now it's confusing
Yeah,
because it's like somebody can be the mandatory and then you have interim
yeah,
champions,
yeah,
and you might see three people in the same weight class that walk around with a belt that looks exactly the same.
yeah. And you don't know who the champion is because they don't fight each other.
Right.
It's, uh,
We know, and it's hard to keep track of it even when you know what's going on. But it's like, okay, oh, that person's the interim champion. That
yeah.
person's the world champion. That person's the super champion. That
I
person's the,
and I can't stand when the champion wins the belt by they gave him the belt. You know what I mean? That he didn't have to fight for it, but he's a champion now because he was waiting and whatever. There was a fighter or someone like that happened. He won the world title, but he didn't even have to fight. It was because two guys decided not to fight, so they gave it to the guy that was waiting. I don't know. It's crazy. This it gets crazy sometimes.
now, but okay, let me ask you this. So if that happens, right? So if they got two people that don't want to fight, wouldn't it make sense the next two people match them up and at least let them fight? Because like giving somebody a championship belt in the fight game, like the fans are they're gonna look at that kind of sideways. They're gonna say like you did. I don't want to say you didn't earn it, but it's like you didn't beat
You
anybody.
didn't fight.
So
You didn't
yeah,
fight.
exactly.
And I think it just not it just they're moving too fast. They're moving guys just to get in and get out, whatever. But it has to be earned. A world title fight should be earned. Not yeah, they gave you the number one spot, but you should man, we should have to fight for the number one spot or number two spot. We actually had to fight the if you're number four, you had to fight number three. If you're number three, you had to fight number two to become the number one contender, whatever. You had to do that back in the days. You had to fight for your spot. Now they just give it to you, and here you go. You can fight for the world title. I don't know. It's that's something that kind of turns me off, and why I don't always pay attention to the fights that are not world title fights because I want to see how they got there. I don't mind you fighting for the world title, but how did you get there? You
Absolutely.
earn it. Did you earn your way up there, or was it given to you because you were the promoter that was paying a lot more money? Whatever, right? But
You're
that's
I
the way things
mean,
these days.
you're spot on because I've been watching boxing since 1990.
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Damn, you're
I'm
old.
and you were fighting. You were fighting during that time when I started watching. You were a full professional when I started watching boxing.
Yeah.
But like even during that time, you hit the nail right on the head. It was like the best were constantly fighting the best.
You had to. You had to fight. You were 4 or 5. If you're in the top 10, you had to fight 2 or 3 or 4 to get an opportunity to fight for a world title. You couldn't go in, unless if the world champion had a mandatory, they was gonna fight number 2 or 3 or wherever, maybe number one. But man, you had a chance, but you had to fight your way. You had to fight 7, 8, 9, wherever. You had to fight someone in the top 10 to get up and fight for a title. You just had to. It was not even thought about. There was no chance you had if you were number 11, 12 to fight for a world title. You had to be in the top 10.
For sure. And somebody outside of yourself that I think of that wanted to be great and really like tried to be great is Fernando Vargas,
Yep.
right?
Mhm. Yep.
Because he took a fight with Felix Trinidad, who nobody wanted to fight at the time. And a lot of people thought that Vargas was too young, he's moving too fast. But like, how can you really say you're the best if you don't fight the best? You can't sit here and say I'm the best, I'm X, Y, and Z
Yeah.
when there is somebody maybe in your division that's calling themselves the best. They may have a belt in your division, or they may be one or two divisions away. It's like, man, if you call yourself the best and we in the same weight class, we got to run it and find out who is the best, right?
Yeah. You can talk all you want, but if you're not showing it, it's just for nothing, right? It just you got to prove yourself. You got to prove that you belong. Like I told you, I fought Luis Espinosa, and I said, okay, I belong in this game. That was my 24th fight, 25th fight, whatever it was. And I think I may even have fought Troy Dorsey before that. I may have beaten Troy Dorsey. It was either before or after Luis, but I can't remember right now.
So
But
that was what 1950
yeah,
what?
56, yeah, 57. But so I fought one man, I fought one of the guys first. I think I fought Luis Espinosa first. And after that I said, okay, I belong in this sport. I can do something. Then I think I fought Troy Dorsey after that for the not for the world title, but I beat him. I stopped him in 5 on NBC, which is just like a big, think about that, right? NBC hasn't come out. They hadn't had boxing on NBC, and my fight with Troy Dorsey was one of the first fights that they came back with, and I stopped him on NBC in a whole bit. And now, Troy Dorsey was just in my gym 3 days ago. He came down to visit to do something. He came down to my gym. We hung out at the gym. Just a great, great guy. I've been good friends with him since after our fight. After our fight, we became good friends, and he came down out here and visited me a few days ago.
That's awesome. I
You
gotta
still- you still- Think about this. Troy Dorsey was the first world champion boxer and kickboxer at the same time.
really
That's
the first.
first world champion boxer and kickboxer at the same time.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
That's how bad of a dude he was. He used to fight those PKA. Remember those PKA tournaments and stuff?
Yeah,
He was in all those things.
I'm surprised like that particular. Well, like that name should be mentioned more often.
Oh yeah.
If that's his resume, because that's not something that or a name that we hear as much as we should. If he did that.
Him and Kevin Kelly fought a fight that I don't think the record has been broken with how many punches they threw in the fight. They threw over 1,200 punches each, or if not more, in a 10-round fight.
Kevin Kelly, man. Oh man. I remember that fight Kevin Kelly had with Prince Nassim Hamed. It's
Yeah,
one of the
right,
best
right,
fights I've ever seen,
right, right.
man.
I always remember that. I remember was it him getting hit when Prince Nassim went leaned back like that when he got hit by Kevin Kelly? Well,
Yeah.
he was always off angle, right? Always off balance,
It
but
was that, and then it was that fight, and then when he fought
Marco, Marco,
Marco Antonio Barrera.
yeah.
When he fought Marco Antonio Barrera, the good old days, man.
A lot of these young kids don't know anything about Prince Nassim Ahmed and how strong he was for a 125 pounder. That was strong.
Man, during
Just
that time, that was the HBO boxing days, man. There was nothing like turning on HBO for either a Prince Nassim fight or a Roy Jones
yep.
fight during that time because it was like all entertainment. You're gonna be entertained because you're gonna get a show along with
With the
a
show.
damn good boxer.
Yeah.
So what more can you ask for? So, Champ, I'm gonna get ready to let you go here.
Right?
I definitely appreciate you tapping in, man, and
Of
doing
course,
this with me.
of course, man. I love this.
I know, man. I enjoy being able to chop it up with you and talk boxing. So I'm forever grateful. And before I let you go, man, is there any shout outs or anything like that that you wanna get out?
No, man. I just I appreciate you always doing this and having me come on. That's to me it means a lot because it's my little way or our way or you're helping me is keep my name out there in people's minds and say, "Man, who is this old guy? Let me look him up." And they see our fights or whatever, right? But it's always good to be part of boxing, be part of your show. You do good things, and I was so happy today when I opened up my Instagram and I saw you post the fight. Only that you were doing it. That's the first thing I saw. I opened up my phone and I saw your boxing fix, and I said, "Oh man, he's the fight was canceled." Everybody, all the trainers, like, "Oh man, we knew it. We knew his dad did it." Everybody was saying that. No one really knows why or how, but um, I'm just thank you so much for keeping my name out there.
And that means a lot. Like I said, I started watching boxing in the '90s, and I remember watching you on TV with my dad on HBO boxing on so many nights. So to have someone that I watched on TV saying, "Wow, looking at you guys like superheroes," to now being able to talk to you like this,
Yeah,
it's something that you check off a bucket list, right? It's something that I go to a bar and tell somebody, and they're like, "No, you didn't," and then you actually pull up the video, and they're like, "What?" So that's what this is to me. So like, I know I tell you all the time, thank you, but like, I'm forever grateful for you. And I'm
yeah.
actually before the year is out. I don't know if I told you, I'm going down to San Antonio.
I
But
can't wait.
before
I
the
can't wait for you to come down here, man. You're gonna love it. You're gonna want to move down here. Just watch.
I
You
heard it's beautiful.
know,
I've been to Arlington, but I
yeah,
haven't been to San Antonio. So
yeah.
um I'll let you know. I'll let you know when. Hopefully, it can be around our birthday. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that'd be perfect, man.
exactly. So we'll see. I'll keep you in the loop, champ. And
Mhm.
I appreciate you once again, man.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Keep up the good work. Keep letting these people know what boxing does and what we're all about, man. You do a great job spreading the word. Thank you.
Thank you, champ. And for everybody that has tapped into the live, thank you. For anyone that will see this once it's up, thank you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video, leave comments and all that stuff. And make sure you obviously show love to champ, from his gym to the red carpet brawl to his page.
Yeah.
Make sure you show him all the love in the world. And until next time, for the champ, it's your boy.
See you,
We'll
brother.
see y'all later. Peace.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.